Hello everybody, welcome back to Red Tool House. Today, hopefully, we're going to wrap up the key components of our mobile chicken coop. The boys have already done all the painting this morning. I got my roosting bars hung. I've got all the wire in place. Thought I wouldn't waste you guys' time with that footage. It's simply paintbrush and and putting fence staples, the fence on the face. So got that taken care of, but now we're going to take care of the self-contained rain catchment water. So rain catchment off the roof, through the gutter, into a tank, and then into a bell water. So the first thing we'll do is get the tank set. So let me show you the details there. So here I have a 16-gallon potable water tank. It's an RV tank. It can be potable water, it can be gray water. And I painted it black, of course, to keep the algae down. And then just here, right over top of my axle, I made a little tray, a little riser with a lip that I can set this tank right down in there. So it's going to keep the base from sliding around. And now I'm going to take some rubber roofing material, leftover rubber roofing material that I have, and make a strap to kind of strap it down. If you recall, if you've been following us on this series, this is where the big red plastic panel goes. So that's why it's nice to be able to, a couple screws, take that out so I can get here to service. So let me get that strap cut and we'll get that dog down and then we'll start plumbing. Alright, so with that rubber stretched over there, that should keep it pretty tight, keep it from rocking out of there. And of course, all I got to do is just back 2 screws out to get it back out of there if I need to take it out to service it. So now the trick becomes hanging the gutter, plumbing it, and building the little gantry for the bell water to hang outside. Okay, so here on the back of the coop, where the slope of the roof is, of course, is where we're going to put gutter. And I have some old vinyl gutter. Actually, it was off the old coop that I took down and repurposed. Cleaned it up a little bit, get it nice and shiny. Can't have old algae covered stuff going on in a brand new coop. So we're going to put that on there. Now, instead of doing a downspout, however, I'm going to use a bulkhead that I ordered from Amazon. So this guy here. And the reason why I didn't want to mess with a downspout coming down and trying to transition into some sort of PVC or something flexible, because the further down I have to go, I got to watch, I don't want to hit my doors, so I need to come down and turn immediately. So go with the bulkhead, and we'll actually drill that out so it'll act as its own downspout, and then we'll go straight to PVC on the bottom of that. Okay, so my bulkhead, I think it's a 2-inch, 2-inch bulkhead. A little overzealous with that, so when I make the hole necessary in my gutter, it was interfering with the actual curve of the gutter, so I had to do some adjustments there. You see I cut some flat spots on either side. Still maintains enough of the O-ring that we can get a seal, but that allows that to drop down easily into there. And we'll put our retention nut on it, and we'll dry fit it and see how that goes. So unlike normal gutter install, I didn't put this on a slope toward the end because I've got the bulkhead so far out, and the reason for that is to line up with the inlet and the tank. So you can see, going right through there, here's the bulkhead, there's the inlet. So I actually pulled this area down just a little bit so it would hopefully be the low spot. But the chances of me sitting, parking this Coop on level ground at any time, even though I'm going to have a ramp to level it up, it's going to be hard pressed for that to happen. So that's why I wanted to go with the bulkhead, even if the gutter filled up with water. Hopefully then it will drain. Now you may be wondering, hey, what are you doing to keep out the crud? Well, I have a crud catcher. So this part comes with the, well, it's extra, but it goes with the bulkhead. And normally it screws right into the top, but some jackleg put the brace right over top. So we're gonna have to move the brace so we can screw it in there. Idiot. What are the odds? All right, let's try that again. So this just simply threads in all nice and sexy like. And that should keep all the debris out of the tank. So we'll obviously have to get up here and clean this on a regular basis, but that's not a big a deal where I can just reach up and grab some. All right, so I got a dry fit done. These pieces are just stuck together. There's no glue. Coming down from our bulkhead, horizontal over, switch around here. Drop to the vertical, straight into the tank. So I would have preferred to obviously be on this side of the tank, but I wanted to use the 1.5 inch opening, threaded opening, to fill versus using just the 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch would have been okay. I just probably would have had a lot of water spilling over my gutter. This is going to be a massive influx of water. But the openings for the 1 3/4 or the 1.5, no matter which way you turn the tank, of course, are going to be on that side. It'd been ideal if it had been able to stick it close to the wall. Then I could have attached it to these studs to make it stronger. I guarantee you there's going to be a chicken roosting on this, so I'm going to have to probably make a yoke with some wire or something to hang it up there. I'm hesitant to even glue all of this up. I'll probably glue portions of it, but it doesn't have, since it's not pressurized, it doesn't have to be watertight. It's kind of like feeding your 1-year-old. You know, you're not trying to get all of it in. You just want to get some of it in. So we'll probably leave some of the joints unglued so we can pop them apart pretty easily. So down at the bottom, there's 4 ports, 4 inlets or outlets, however you want to look at it, for this tank. The 2 1.5s are sealed up with a cap. So I've already cut the one out of the intake, and obviously we'll leave that one solid because we're not going to use it. This will be our outlet. This 1/2 inch will be where our water comes out and goes to our bell water. Here at the top, obviously, since we're filling up a tank with 1.5 inch diameter pipe with a lot of water flowing in, and this system down here is a sealed system for the bell water, we need to have a vent. So that's what this is. This is a vent overflow. It's just a 1/2 inch, and I've got some a black 1/2 inch pipe that we'll bring out with a 90 and just let it drop down. Again, since it's a wire mesh floor, it doesn't matter if water comes out and just goes right down through it. So we'll have that as a vent and an overflow. Okay, so now it's time to hang the bell water, and really just going to do something simple here. Just hang it, I want it to be on the outside of the trailer, and obviously it needs to be lower than the tank, so it'll gravity feed. We're not pressurizing anything, we're not pumping anything. So my plan is to hang it right here in front of the tire, that way it's close to the tank and I don't have to worry about a lot of hose, and if I hit a bump real hard and knock the bell water off, I'll be sure to run over it and break it. So just making a basic little gantry here that we're going to hang it off of, or yard arm, I don't know what the proper term is, but you'll see. So with a couple pieces of scrap wood, just made an angle here that can lock in. And that'll support it, hopefully. So this bell water is a little different from my typical ones, but it's the same type of function. And I'm going to use just a gate chain here with a hook. That way I can adjust the height pretty easily. And that will depend on the angle that I have the coop on the hillside, because obviously I don't want the chickens to have to stand on their tiptoes to get water. The size of our birds, this would work fine, so I could just have the chain here kind of doubled up out of the way. But if we were on a high side and I have this side ramped up to keep it more level on a hill slope, then of course more chain, hang it lower if I need to. And actually when I go to move this, move the coop, I'll take the bell water off. It comes apart pretty easily, the little valve system. So let me show you how that's going to hook up to the tank and fill the water. So this bell water system is a little different. It came with this saddle, which is the red piece here, and you drill a hole in a piece of PVC pipe and put this clamp over it, and with this plastic screw, thumb screw, you tighten it down. It's got a little gasket material in here, so it makes a nice seal. So I've just always kept this piece of PVC pipe around, and each time I move it, I cut off a little piece to re-glue to something. But what I'm going to do here, of course, 1/2 inch inlet to a 3/4 inch PVC. This will just get glued up like that. And then I'll just take the other end, which the other end has this valve. And this is how those bell waters work. It actually sticks in like that. So when the bell water is empty of water, the spring underneath the bell pushes this up and makes the valve flow water. Then when the bell gets too heavy and hangs down, this drops down and seals off. So it's an auto shut-off type situation. So that's just going to snake over to the bell. So that's how she's going to work, supposedly, in theory. Obviously, it doesn't have any water in it, but it's time to do a test. I'm going to get a 5-gallon bucket of water here, and we'll take it for a test drive. Hear it filling. Feel like I'm 10 years old again playing in the creek. For a real test, that bucket actually had a bunch of leaves in it too, so we could test our strainer. Just remembered, sometimes this one requires a siphon. Let's take the valve off here real quick and take a look at it. Pardon me. No comments, by the way. She's running. Tough to see. I had this thing's been in the coop for a while, in the old coop, so I had there's a huge cobweb in the valve. So after getting a mouthful of it, I was able to clear it out, and now she's running. So now we've got water running into the belt. So with 16 gallons, I shouldn't have to fill that myself. And that's one thing I may have to add if I do run into that, maybe in August, or if it's time we don't get a lot of rain, then I may have to come in and fill that. So I'll need a fill versus trying to dump a bucket over into the gutter every time. But we'll address that later. Now I just need to get some gray paint on it, put it all together, and I think probably tomorrow we'll start moving chickens into it. All right, y'all, there she is, looking all sexy. So probably tomorrow night we'll put chickens in there. I want to do that after dark, so I'm not chasing them all around. Put them in there, get them in their first spot. I have the poultry netting around it, of course, as we discussed with the fence charger. I don't think I pointed this out, but I left the bottom of the tank unpainted, so it's still clear. And obviously I'd like to have the whole thing black to keep from building up algae, but I also like the visual so I can see the water level in there. I don't know if you can see that if the camera's picking that. Yeah, so you can see that there. So you can see the water level. So that'll give me an idea to eyeball it real quick to see what the water situation looks like, to get an idea of how much the rain's taking care of it or how much I'm going to have to add my own. Well, we'll do one more video for this series, and that'll be the actual loading and implementation and first launch of the coop. That'll be the last video for this series, but I appreciate everybody watching. All right, take care.